Going on, dispatcher? So I just had a potential client ask me what makes my freight dispatch training better than anyone else's. So I just want to share a little bit about myself, not to down anyone else, because honestly, whether you're selling freight dispatch trainings or you starting your own dispatch business, whatever you're doing in life, I hope everybody gets it. You know what I'm saying? So there ain't no hate in my blood. I hope everybody get out there and get it, no matter your hustle. But I am my own person. You know what I'm saying? I'm not like anybody else. I am my own person. So what makes my freight dispatch training program different and better than anyone, because I'm not gonna stunt, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna be humble about this. I'm gonna tell you about myself and what makes my program better than anyone out there. So I started my freight dispatch business, and in the first month I almost failed, and that's something I'm happy to talk about, because everything that caused me to almost fail in that first month I learned from. So whatever problems you have in business, you have to always learn from. So I almost failed in that first month of business, but I implemented some key strategies in that first month that helped me to be successful and started making $20,000 per month during my second month of business. Also, what makes my training program different and better is during the process of starting my freight dispatch business, I had an aunt that was dying of brain cancer. So while I was making my calls, calling my first potential clients, I had to do bid changes on my aunt, change her bid because she couldn't hold her bowel movements. And while I was on the phone, I had to look around the corner and make sure her chest was still rising and falling. So I had to do all that, take care of my aunt that was on home hospice while I was starting my freight dispatch business. So I know a lot of you have problems come up during life when you're starting your business, and I just wanted to use that story to tell you, no matter what you go through in your business, you always just have to fight through it and make your business success, even if it's a family member or relative on their deathbed. You can't let anything stop you, because if I would have let that stop you, I wouldn't be, if I would have let that stop me, I wouldn't be talking to you guys today here on this video. So fight through everything. That's my own personal experience. What also makes my freight dispatch training so good is that after starting my freight dispatch business, I used that knowledge and I started my own trucking company, my own lease own trucking company. I have experience as a freight broker, a freight agent. I have a truck driver recruiting school. So basically everything in the logistics industry, in the trucking industry, I've done except driving a truck. I don't have a CDL. I haven't ever drove a truck, but everything else I have done in this game, and I'm able to teach you during my training and mentorship programs. And other than that, with the money that I made in trucking, I used it and I invested it in other areas of business. So you think about it, if someone's really successful in dispatching or any business that they start, and they're supposed to be a business owner, they should use that cash flow to reinvest it into other businesses. So that's the whole reason I started my freight dispatch business, because it was a low startup cost, low monthly overhead. It allowed me to work from anywhere, and it has the ability to scale. So I use that scale, I use that cash flow from my truck dispatching business and rolled it over, invested it into other businesses such as Airbnb. So I have Airbnbs here in Florida, I have Airbnbs in Houston and Atlanta, which also help to generate me money. So once you start making money, that's all you need to do to become wealthy. Start making money in one area and then take that cash flow and reinvest it, constantly reinvest it, and that's going to help you to build more cash flow. So that's a big reason that helps to make my freight dispatch training so successful, and I put all that information into my training programs. But besides all the experience that I have in trucking and I have an Airbnb, I flip houses, I have a roofing company now, and lately I'm getting into water restoration. And this is stuff I want you guys to see for yourself. If you pay attention to the news, you should see all the flooding going around in different cities throughout the country. So I'm starting a water restoration company that will help me make money off the flooding, help me restore people's houses that have flooding. So you got to look at what's going on in the world and see how you can make money off of it. But besides that, I was a aviation maintenance administration in the U.S. Navy, and as an aviation maintenance administration, what I did is I tracked hours on aircraft and aircraft parts. So certain parts need to come off the aircraft when they reach a certain amount of hours. And if they don't come out, the pilot can die because the plane would go down. So it was my job to track those parts and let the mechanic know when it was time to take those parts off. So that was a very, very important job in the United States Navy. I had to have a lot of attention to detail, and I put that attention to detail that I learned in the United States Navy into my training programs. And that's something that you'll also need when you're dispatching owner operators is attention to detail. So I teach attention to detail in my training and mentorship programs. And then after I got out the United States Navy, I joined the United States Army as a combat medic. So in the Army, I have saved a lot of lives. And after I got out the Army, I worked at different hospital emergency rooms, also saving lives. So through that experience and the experience of starting my business and taking care of my aunt while she was on home hospice, what that taught me to do is have strength within myself. So anything that you go through in business, you need to have strength and you need to get over. Because if you don't, I guarantee you something will come up and you will give up. So it doesn't matter if you have a relative on their deathbed or whatever you have going on, you always have to have strength to get over. So being a combat medic in the United States Army taught me to have strength and get over anything that comes up within my business. But if you guys need anything, go to my website, antoinewest.biz.